Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the PH Alliance, Prosperity and Health Alliance with a Heart. I want to start by apologizing for being a few minutes late jumping on the webinar. We had some technical difficulties in the back end. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Siha Top, and our good friend Wade Lightheart, who's been away on the road the last couple of weeks, is going to be joining us briefly by jumping on. So Wade's had some problems getting online. So thank you for sticking it out, and we're being recorded this event as all the webinars are, so you can find this in the future, and you can also pass it on to your teams. We want to continue where we kind of left off, and taking the good energy that we raised and were a part of at the Eric Worre Go Mastery event, and we want to jump into really kind of keeping with the basics, the fundamentals, and we're going to review the inviting formula this evening. I'm just going to turn it over to my co-host, Siha Top, if he wants to say some opening words.
Got it. Thank you, Krill. Yes, I'm excited about tonight's show. Been thinking about this, and you and I had talked earlier about, what can we share with our teams, what can we share with the group on what's important to our business. And time again, it comes to inviting. Inviting is so important. Inviting is, it determines how fast your team's going to grow. It determines how successful you're going to be. So we want to talk about that topic tonight. Inviting very important to your success of your business. Um, you know, it's the meetings that make the money, and if we are part of our business is to organize, and these meetings are, for the presentations or for trainings or whatnot. And it's not just the meetings, but it's getting people out to these meetings, getting prospects out to these meetings. How do we do it? How do we do it efficiently? How do we do it effectively? It's probably one of the hardest things. That I think in the whole network marketing is inviting people and training on how to invite people, because there's so many variables. So I'm going to try to simplify it as best as I can. I'm getting better and better at inviting. I feel like I don't really have a huge problem in inviting people, because I know where I know where I want to take the conversation when I'm with somebody. It's hard for me to be with my teammates or be with you if you're trying to invite somebody and I don't have all the variables and help you out. But what has helped me out is Eric Worre's 7 steps on how to invite, and I'll go through those 7 steps. But before I go through the 7 steps, there's many reasons when we go to invite that people don't show up for the meetings, and we have to be sensitive to that, and we have to acknowledge that, and then we have to address it and then deal with it. Sometimes when we invite people, they're busy. A lot of people say life gets in the way. There's a lot of they're tired, from a long day of work or whatever it is that's in their mind. They're nervous. They're nervous. They don't know what they're in for. They don't know what to expect. That's the fear of the unknown. Life stuff comes up during the day. We invited them 2 weeks ago, a couple days ago, whenever it was, and they don't show up, and it could be because life stuff showed up on them.
And I think you're in a really great place, and I see you're going to jump into it. Let me throw in a couple slides just so that we can really set the foundation as we move into the inviting formula. I think it will be really helpful for everybody joining us this evening. So I want to and see how it's kind of already suggesting it. In order to be a successful network marketer and being part of a big system, company and movement and building an organization, the formula for financial independence in network marketing is the ability to get a large group of people to consistently do a few simple things over an expended period of time. And that's really what we want to do with the inviting formula. There are so many variables, as Siha mentioned, but the ability to learn this and teach this as taught by Eric Worre, I think is really going to lead to massive growth. Because once you get 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 levels deep, if you're teaching the same system, you know that those fundamentals are going to be duplicatable and move forward. So that's our focus. This is what we are trying to do as leaders here, and as you and your business, always be asking the question, what am I doing today duplicatable? Can the new person coming into my organization a month from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, do what I'm doing? And if they can't, then you may need to back up and revisit it. So keeping it simple, following Eric Worre's advice. Moving into the next one is inviting. It's really the gateway skill. And successful people are not hunters. We're more like farmers. We're building relationships. Successful people build friendships, and successful build trust. And I think Siha was already just starting to talk about that. As we know people out in our world, whether they be warm market or cold market, we want to be sensitive to where people are at, and our agenda and trying to provide information and understanding and matching where they're at. And we can do a much better job when friendships and trust have been established, and we're really working from that place of, as Tony Robbins suggested, intent matters. So really getting ourselves clear what we're here to do. So skillfully transfer their beliefs. So this is the professional. So this is talking from the professional network marketer's point of view. Carefully transfer my beliefs about my products and my opportunity. And the goal is not to immediately recruit prospects, but to take them to the next exposure in information and education. And the goal is to educate them on what we have to offer and let the prospect decide. Right? Professionals are more like consultants. So moving in through the world with that perspective as you approach the inviting formula. And I'm going to kind of set it up, and then we're going to move through the 7 and 8 steps of the inviting formula. But just to kind of set the foundation for this, we want to invite people to 2 things. The first thing, as Siha mentioned, was inviting people to attend an event. An example would be a meeting with another member on the team, 3-way calls, group presentations in their home, online webinar, a demo, or even a convention, larger event. So our goal is to invite them to attend with us. Professionals know how to build a trust and transfer belief. They need to connect with people as much as possible. Right? Events are the most effective physical interaction for meeting with people, as events help build this trust. Thus, we're really geared towards how do we get people effectively out to our weekly presentations, our living hydration demos, whatever it might be in your area or something that you might be creating. Important for a prospect is to see what others are involved in and what they like. There is education on the product, financial opportunity, and support. You don't have to do it all alone. So we really want to encourage people to gear towards, in Vancouver, I'll speak for our group, our organization here, Tuesday nights are game night. Hear the stories from people, and the difficulty with inviting is scheduling and confirming with people. And we'll cover this a little bit more, but you invite 20 people and you get 2, 3, 4 confirmations. And so you have to move through the numbers game, and rather than relying just on a few key people, how do you expand your inviting so that you're getting more people, more traction through the opportunity? Right? And you invite to the live event, and then you also invite people to review a tool. Right? This can be a CD, DVDs, magazines, brochures, websites, online presentations. Product sample can be a tool, a physical tool that makes it real, or in the world of internet. So it is suggested that this can be a better way when you're wanting to build a large and duplicatable organization, because we have new people coming in as our global business grows that don't have live presentations in their area. So what they need to do is invite to a different outcome. Right? The goal is still education and understanding. People want to know what we have and how it can benefit their lives. They are busy, might not be able to take the time to get to a live demo, so we want to bring something to them, whether it be listening in the car, watching a short link on the internet, reading a magazine, whatever that third-party tool that you want to use is. Right? And I think, Siha, this is where we can kind of start to move into the actual formula, and I think we're going to work back and forth with this. I'll just set the foundations, and then I'll turn it over to you.
Sure.
I really try to coach everybody and let everybody know, especially the new person, is like you have to emotionally detach from the inviting formula and from putting yourself out there, because there's fear and there's risk, when we have our own stories coming into that moment. But we really want to kind of remember these four key things emotionally. Our goal is education and understanding. It's not to sell something right away. Selling comes as a result of full education and full understanding. So really being anchored in that we're really more consultants and teachers, right? Be your authentic self, right? I listen to the words of Eric Worre over and over and over again, and I use those words. And sometimes in the beginning, I felt a little like, okay, I'm going to try something out. But eventually it just becomes me and the way I present it. So I really want to encourage you guys, bring yourself to it, Bring passion and joy. We talked about this last week from a mindset perspective. The more energy you have, the more enthusiasm, the more people want to connect with that, right? And having a strong posture, really stand what your belief is, not to get rattled so easy, ask questions, not needing to be defensive. So we need to emotionally detach from this outcome. Okay. Here we are moving into the inviting formula. See how I'm going to pass it over for you for, take it a little bit from here.
Yeah, thanks, Creel. Appreciate that. Yeah, the inviting formula. Eric has seven steps to inviting, and you see it right there. Be in a hurry. When we're talking about being in a hurry, everybody's busy. You're busy. The prospect's busy. You don't want to sound fake. Like Creel said, you want to be yourself. So when you're calling them up, have a sense of urgency. Is being in a hurry. Sincere compliment them. When you're talking to them, why did you call them? Did you call them because you saw money signs? It shouldn't be that if that was the reason. You called them because you cared about them, because you know where maybe they are in their life situation. So you want to compliment them for, I've always recognized you as a hard worker, always top of your game, and I respect you a lot. And I just wanted to take some time and connect with you. So compliment them sincerely on why you're calling them on that. Make the invitation. The invitation, is it to, what was the invitation for? Was it for the business side, or was it for the health side? What connects with them, and you want to invite what you know about them based upon that. Make it interesting for them. Cause a curiosity for them to come. There's another phrase that another leader uses called peek and pass. So you pique their interest, and then you pass them to the presentation that you want to invite them to. If I do this, would you do that? Like Carol was saying, there's so many ways to invite people, to introduce them to the product or to the training or to the presentation. If I give you this DVD, would you watch it by Sunday? If I pick you up, you said that you had Tuesday night open. If I pick you up at 6 o'clock, can we go together? Or can we have coffee before or after? Would you do that? If I do this, would you do that? Another one of Eric Worre's trademark phrases, and it works. It works all the time. Works really well. Get the time commitment. When we're talking to the invite, they've got pretty much everybody, including yourself. You know what your daily schedule's like. You know when you've got to go to work. You know when you're coming out, when your break times are. You know when your lunchtime is. You know when you're getting off of work. So and you're scheduled with your family and everything else after work. So get a time commitment that you can connect with them, that will work for both of you, so that you can go to these presentations together. Confirm the time commitment. Confirming it, you got it, and now call and follow up. What I do when I'm inviting somebody, whether I do it personally or I do it on the phone or through a text, I then follow it up with a flyer. I follow up with a flyer, and I send the flyer via text or via emails, and that could be 2 weeks out. It could be 2 months out, 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 days out. And then I follow it back up with as I get closer to the event, like 3 days before, I send another reminder. And there again, that's the confirmation of the time commitment. And I want to remind them because, they're busy. So we almost act as if we're their secretary for that time being. So send out another flyer, send out another text reminder to them. That's confirming the time commitment, and then schedule that time that that you're going to. I guess this is afterwards. After you've gone to the meeting and the presentation, then you want to schedule a follow-up time. When you can call them back and say, what did you like most about the event? What did you like most about the DVD? What did you like most about the training? And whatever they like, if they like the product, you have to come back and say you love the product, which you do. If they come back and they say they really like the business opportunity, you have to come back and really show them why you love the business opportunity. It's leveraging, it's 24-hour business, it's worldwide, whatever it is. That's the follow-up, and then getting off the phone really quickly after you've made the connections of the times and everything else. Get off the phone really quickly because they've got their day to move on to, and so do you, and it's to the next prospect.
Mm-hmm. That's great, Siha. It's taken me a while to really figure out and really become familiar and comfortable with what we're really here to do and how do we do it. And I cannot overestimate or overstate that I really recommend people getting this book and reading. I believe it is chapter 5, which is the inviting formula, and also listening to Eric's audios. For me, I learn a lot more through audio. When I hear someone saying the words, I just listen to it over and over and over again. And Eric has real-life examples of cold market, warm market, direct approach, indirect, super indirect, using this formula. And I realized that it's less about what we know, and it's just about following the formula. We just want to use third-party tools all the time, right? It's not about you being the presenter. Don't do that. Just be the person who's, in a hurry. Make a sincere compliment. Ask a few questions so that you know how to make the invitation. And then if I do this, would you do that? When can you do that by? Oh, you can do that by Saturday. Great. That's confirmation number 1. Confirmation number 2. So if I called you on Sunday, you would have for sure watched the link. Oh yeah, I would have for sure watched it. Great. But then what's the best number to call you at? Is it the number that I just called you, or is there a better one? That's the scheduling the call, the confirmation number 3, and then you're off the phone. If we can consistently do that, whether you need to write that down on a little cheat sheet and practice that throughout the day, the opportunity to make this go faster and to then turn around and teach it to your new prospects is going to grow this business for all of us in a much faster way. But when we're not sure how to do this and we're all kind of doing different things, the results will vary, and rather than following what's working. It's so working. Check out the numbers here. So this is the inviting theory. Based on what you just saw, you're asking the prospect to actually say yes 4 times. Yes, I would. If I would you, that's a yes. Confirmation number 1, 2, 3, you got 4 yeses, right? And the invitation, we can do this fairly quickly. Achieving the goal of education and understanding moves from 5% to 80% when you get all those steps in. I know for me, for years, I have gotten to the point where I said, if I would you, and I get one loose confirmation, and I'm still at the 5%. Unless I have a time and a recommitted time, I'm going to call you at this. A lot of the times the people don't watch it because they know there wasn't that really solid commitment that they made. They said, well, I'll have some time later this week. And sometimes I've been so excited just to have someone say yes that I'd be like, oh, okay, great. Well, then I'll contact you next week. Well, that's not going to work for the other one. So I'm still only in the 5%. Going through all of those steps, everybody, and being solid with it, and realizing when you do an invitation, and you can look back and be like, which step did I make it? Did I make it all the way through to number 8? Or did I get stuck at number 5 or number 6, right? Goal, education and understanding, right? Let the third-party tool do most of the work for us. Really, really, awesome.
Can I add something here? Real quick.
Please do. Yeah, jump in.
While we're just on that, you started with attitude. And attitude is everything. Showing enthusiasm, showing energy. You are a commercial. We are a commercial to the event. It's like if there's the movie's playing for an hour and 20 minutes. We're the commercial. We're the 30-second commercial. We have to do our best to get people interested in that movie in a sense or in this event. So attitude, if you forget all those steps or you forget any of those steps, your attitude change, your attitude, your enthusiasm, your energy, I believe trumps all that, and it will get people there. So, but follow
Absolutely,
steps.
C-Hop. Yeah, I think your attitude and your intent at the beginning, you can fumble through all the steps and you can still pull it off because people are and being authentic, that's what's resonating with people.
Right.
But as we want to grow, if you realize, okay, I could do better. Next time I could do this, this, this. And if we do that consistently, we just get better at these skills. And that might take 12 months, 24 months, 36 months. But to master these skills is to create a 6- and 7-figure income for yourself. And in the beginning, it's scary to not know what to do. So here's a guideline. And of course, your passion, enthusiasm, and doing it. The greatest, the next slide kind of will say a lot. But I just wanted to throw in, know your tools. What video links do you send a person? If you've been asking some good key questions, they've been giving you some gold nuggets, and they say, yeah, I'll look at something. Then you need to make the right decision. What are you going to send a person? Right? So I love the Dr. Donaldson stuff, whether it be on the competition, the difference between Kangen machines, his 11 minutes of what is Kangen water versus maybe the 26-minute. I read the prospect, what would be most advantageous for them. Maybe the history of Enagic, maybe the Kangen water demo. So knowing what it is and how to send it. And I've noticed that sometimes email is not most effective. Sometimes if I just can send a link on my smartphone to somebody, the chances of them watching it when they got a few extra minutes goes way up because it's already on their tablet, right? So product versus business, which one do you want to send people? Choose 1 or 2 links to get their attention. I think the key is not to overwhelm people with information. If they say, yeah, I'll take a look at something, send one thing, get some feedback. As they get more enthusiastic and more interested, you can give them more research information or ask them, what kind of information would you really like, right? And practice. I think, Sia, this is kind of the name of the game, isn't it? Having you been involved with the business for 7 years, and have a great team, well, you want to make some comments on this?
Yeah, you can, practicing is putting it out there and seeing what you get back. To train on this, for my teams, when we invite or when we go to a demo, we always talk about after the fact. So I get calls from my team, my business builders. They'll call me and say, and they'll run the whole day, the whole scenario by me of what they did and what they felt they did right and what they did wrong. We talk about it, even though that I there. That's part of practicing. That's part of moving forward, and that's part of growth. And I continue to do it with a lot of my 6As. We still do it. I do it with you. I do it with Wade when I get the chance. So definitely, I would say just put in just do it. Taking it from Nike, just do it and build good habits from it and learn from it. Just like that GoPro, I learned do, review, and perfect. So do, review, and perfect. That is your practice. If you're not doing that, then you're not practicing. So practice. Yes.
It's so key, and realize people, it's scary, and we have to go overcome our fear, and there's all that stuff before we get into the inviting formula and making it happen. But it's in the doing that the discovery of this business and the personal development is really going to happen. And I know there's people out there that are looking for greater results, and I think what needs to happen is you need to increase the amount of exposures and contacts so that you get more practice. And emotionally detachment, you're there to help people, to educate and understanding. Not everybody's ready for that. I think this is a great scenario. You've got a plate of cookies, you're walking around a party, and you're asking people if they want to sample the cookies. Some will, some won't. You just keep moving through the party asking. Some might come back later because they've seen a few other people eat the cookies. So it's how do you release from it? Keep practicing. Follow these 8 steps in the inviting formula as best you can. It will become, second nature, and then you start to have a lot of fun with it. But it's coachable. We can duplicate it. We can pass it on to other people. Any final words, Siha, before we pass it over to Wade?
Yeah, really quickly. Going back to posture and practicing, I've always believed that your clients will come to you. They want to come to an expert. Let me back up. They don't want to come to a salesperson, salesman or saleswoman. People will come to you because they believe that you're an expert, that you're a teacher, that you're a consultant, that you're an advisor, that you're a professional. And that's the posture that you have to take. So practice being in that posture when you invite. Practice being in that posture when you refer a DVD or whatnot, because that is what people will come back to you for. They'll come back to you as an expert in the industry and not as a salesperson. So that's part of the practice, I'd say. Keep in mind.
Awesome. Thanks, Siha. Now I'm going to, I think Wade Lightheart has joined us. He's in the house. And Wade, are you there, brother? Maybe we we're still having some difficulties there. I can hear you, Kim.
I can hear him. To unmute.
Bear with us, everybody. A little more technical difficulties.
Is that any better?
Yeah,
Yes.
there you go, Wade. We got you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Loud and clear. Well, Wade, welcome to the show. I'm going to turn it over to
I
you.
can't hear. I'm getting a lot of slow feedback.
We can hear you really clearly, so I'm just going to turn it over to you.
You can hear me now?
Yes. I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can take the floor.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Some great stuff there, guys. Thanks for sharing. I mean, the reason why you guys have big teams is because of what you're teaching and the practices. And I'm going to touch on this in the next week. I know Bob Proctor did a big job on it recently. And the difference between what you're laying out and then being good at executing, you have to go through what's called the terror barrier. And terror comes up, and fear comes up, and all that. And you got to realize that everybody has felt that. That's at the top levels. Isn't valid, or it's not realistic, or you don't expect it. But practice. When you practice going through it, eventually you overcome it. So, Kim, if we can put up the slides that I recommend, suggest, that would be awesome. I just want to reach up. Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay. Somehow I lost the video feed. All right, we can go. I can't see my slides. I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. I can pull it up. Hang on one quick second. Oh, that's a great one. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. Let's go right here.
Yeah.
We're testing my. I just landed on a plane a couple hours ago. I'm so excited to be on the call with everybody tonight, and because I wasn't able to get on last week, so this is really exciting. So let me go up here. Let's go right here. I've been on the road for a few weeks, and we talked about high performance, and just got back from Elliott Hull's seminar. That was a high performance seminar. Went to Network Marketing Pro, Go Pro with their high performance stuff there. Amazing stuff. And what's interesting, and over at Brendan Burchard's, same thing. And everybody's, if you will, dancing to the same beat. They're drinking the same Kool-Aid. They're singing from the same hymn book. They're saying the same things, and they're doing the same things. High performance in your business is not some mystic thing that you're not capable of doing. The beauty of this business is that everybody can do this. You only 7 skills, and you just need to practice and you need to go through the terror barrier. That's it. That's the reality. That's the only thing that's stopping anybody. And we've all felt it. We all feel it in different areas, and there's areas that we all still have lived. I'm not going to say that I've got it down perfect, or Siha or Creel. We're not saying that. That recognizes. I mean, I only rated myself in the like a 41. You know, and I've got a great business. I'm 41 out of 70, which is barely a pass, and you can build a great business. But here's what I can share with you. Some really interesting notes from Brendan Burchard's Performance Accounting. This is to kind of help you with the psychology or get excited about the project. They did a poll of 200,000 people and found that 13% of the population was satisfied with their life and where it's going. 13%. So that means if you talk to 100 people, only 13 of them are going to be happy with what they're doing and where they're going. So that means we've got the cookie. We've got something great. We've got something that can change their life. We can, you know, we can help them understand that we've got a better way. We've got something that can, you know, really give them the life that they want to. Okay? Now, here's the thing. There's 3 qualities of life. There's 3 types of lives out there. And I'm going to review these because this is really powerful session. So the first kind of life is the caged life. And that's the life that people, you know, the life of quiet desperation, the doing the treadmill, going to the work, living in the rat race, whatever you want to call it, you know, just kind of doing the thing, you know, same old, as people say. Then there's the comfortable life. Comfortable life, you know, is kind of like, everything's kind of okay or whatever. It's a little flat, a little stale, but, you know, I'm comfortable. I feel good. You know, I got Saturday off and Sunday, and, you know, we got vacation for a couple of years and everything. And then there's the charge life. You become an electromagnetic force. That people just think you're weird and crazy. That's okay, because relative to, you know, look at those numbers, you're going to look weird and crazy a little bit. That's okay. Just have fun with it. Let's talk about the cage life. To review, because maybe you're in a cage life. Maybe you want to break out of the cage. Maybe you know someone in the cage or whatever. But the cage life has a lot of fear. A lot of fear. It's scared of, well, I don't know about that. Is this a pyramid scheme? I can't do this. I heard those things don't work. All that sort of stuff. So that's the thing. The cage life has a lot of judgment. It judges other people. It judges things. It's always finding a reason why things don't work, or who's not good, or why someone's getting ripped off. Blah, 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 blah. That's the pain game. You know, that's what's broadcast on the news. There's always a victim and a perpetrator, right? It's also around a lot of shame and embarrassment. A lot of people feel shameful or embarrassed about that they're having a struggle, or they're not, you know, financially where they want to be, or their life is not where they want to be. Be okay with it. Wear it like a badge. Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. Here's where I'm at. Things aren't so good right now, but you know what? I'm really excited about this, and I think there's a realism, and people bridge the gap. When you see the best speakers, they'll always talk about the pain. They always talk about what they didn't like about what was going on, and then how they found a way to change it, and why they're excited about the future. That's the formula, right? But as in the cage life, you feel like the victim. You know, these people are doing this, or everybody should do that, or why aren't things this way, or how come I can't get ahead, or the government's doing this, or my boss is doing that, or taxes are like this, or all that sort of talk. Gotta get rid of that, or you're in a cage life, right? It's really an ego trip, right? Oh, poor me. Oh, look at me. Oh, they're so bad. You got to axe that out. So the biggest thing is people in the cage life never ask for help. They never go out there and say, you know what, I don't have this figured out. The beauty of this business is we've got experts, we got people who have been there, done that, and are financially and emotionally motivated to help you get where you want to go. You got to ask for help. You got to come up to your upline and say, hey, you know what, I need some help here. I don't know what to do. I'm frustrated. I'm tired. I don't know what's going on. No problem. That's great. Share it. We'll help you. Right? You can get over this, and eventually you'll see that you can do this. Next thing, the ultimate expression of that thing is kind of like a suicidal personality. You know, they've lost all hope in the world. And the terminology that people use is, oh, you don't understand. You know what, Seahawk? You're very successful, but you don't understand. I've got this problem. Or Creel, you don't understand. I've got a wife, or I got kids, or You don't understand because, like, you know, I had bad parents when I grew up, or I came from the poor side of the house, or I'm not that smart, or I'm not good at being on the phone, or I'm not. You know what? You don't understand. If you hear yourself or anybody else around that, you got to blow that crap up. You got to call it out as it is. You got to say, hey, you know what? You don't understand. Everybody enough to understand what's going on. I mean, the bottom line, there's 7 skills. That's it. And Angie takes care of everything else. They take care of all the heavy lifting. You got 7 skills. You can learn this. So what? So it takes you 2 years. Big deal. It takes you 5 years. Big deal. What else? What else is going on? This is your financial future here, right? So then you go to the next thing, right? You know, what gets you out of the cage life? What's the answer? What's the key? What's the doorway? What's the pathway? What's the opening? There's 2 things. One of 2 things happen. Either something new comes in, or something new needs to come from within. Sometimes, you know, you just got to call yourself out. You just got to say, you know what? If things are going to change, I've got to change. World ain't gonna. We're not here to change the world. You know what? The world that people see doesn't even exist. As soon as you change your mind, you change your attitude, you change your perception, guess what? You see a totally different world. So if you don't like the way the world is, change your mind. You can change that in a second, right? They say change your water, change your life. That's really true. We're going to move on from the cage life. I think that everybody that got on this call might have been in the cage life at one time, but you got into a magic business because you don't want to be in a cage life anymore. And I salute that. That's why we're here. That's why I'm excited. That's why I can't wait to see you all again. It's so much fun hanging around with people that are rolling. But I'm going to share with you something. Now, this is something that, you know, happened to me right here. The comfortable life. The comfortable life. Like years ago when I was young, I was in the cage life. I remember I was in the cage life. It was everybody's fault, and I didn't have a chance, and things didn't work out, and it was a real victim. And then I remember standing on beating on a fence one day. You know, my relationship broke up. I'd lost all my money. I was out there working in a job that I had left years ago and had to come back to. I was living in the basement of my parents' house. Everything was sucking out big time. I had this big lump in my throat, and I'm beating on this old fence in this manual labor job. And I said, I got to change this. I don't know how to change this. I can't figure out how to change it, but I've got to change this. And something came in within me that just took over me and just said, never again. Never again am I doing it. Never again am I going to do this. And you know what? A year later, I was on top again. A year later, my life transformed. It was hard work. I worked my butt off. I worked 65 hours a week. I worked like a crazy man. You know, but you know what? It was worth it. But then what happens? You get some success. This has happened to me. You know, and this is a real tricky one. It's called a comfortable life. That means you got some skills, you had a little bit of success, you know, got some money in, a magic business just rolling in, you're pulling in 6 figures, teams growing, everything going. You get comfortable. You get comfortable. I get comfortable in my business. You know, I could be, you know, but there's something behind you going, I don't know. How's everything? Oh, it's good. The business is good. It's fine. How's your relationship? It's fine. How's your finance? Oh, they're fine. Everything's good. You know, things are good. You know, how's the family? That's fine. It's fine. It's kind of flat. There's almost like a rut. There's a softness, an edge, a sneaky dark cloud in the back of your mind. It's kind of like eating away at you, and you're living this kind of, you know, it's all kind of good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good, Wade. How's life? It's all good. You know, and what happens is this is characterized by a lack of gratitude and appreciation, and it's an indication of something deeper. And what it is, and I'm going to refer back to Bob Proctor talked about this. You know, he really, you know, illustrated this kind of thing, and that is there's a lot of people get their goals and they kind of reach a certain level of life, and we live a really good life here in the Western Hemisphere compared to a lot of places on the planet, and it kind of gets kind of flat. And what I check out of, we're worried that we're getting too much, or we have a low self-image of what we're deserved, or we have maybe it was programmed into us from childhood. But we've got to go to goals aren't about getting, goals are about growing. We live in an expansive universe. The universe is expanding, it's exploding, it's growing, it's changing, it's evolving, it's developing, it's doing all kinds of stuff. It's not taking a day off. And that's the beauty. That's the chart. When you're setting your goals for growth, it's not about, I need to drive a Porsche. I just think a Porsche is a sign that you're doing great. A vacation to Hawaii. We're going to talk about that later. In an upcoming thing. Everybody's coming to Hawaii. Get ready. End of April. We're all coming to Hawaii, man. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be exciting. You go, why are we going to the highway? Why are we going to go Hawaii? Because we can. Because we want to. Not for any other reason. Because it's a sign of growth. It's a sign of, what? I think in April, the end of this year, we want 100 people to go to Hawaii. Now, is 100 people going to Hawaii going to change their lives? No. We're doing it because we just want to do it. We want to all hang out in Hawaii just like we did with a bunch of our team members last time. It's because it's fun. It's to grow. And you get charged up. And then you're hanging out in Waikiki Beach. And you're having a good time. And you're with your buddies. You're going, OMG, what else could I do? Maybe I could go build some water things in a village. Why? Because I feel like it. Because I want to. Because I'm helping somebody, right? When you set your goals into growth and contribution, something bigger than yourself, something bigger than just, having 3 square meals or a few dollars in your bank account or 100 people in your downline or whatever it happens to be. You get into growth and contribution and you realize the bigger you get, the more you contribute, the more that you contribute, the more that you grow, and that's just like now you move from the comfortable life into the charged life. And and in my own life, I would say it's back and forth between the two. You kind of charge at it, and then you get a little comfortable at that new level, and then it kind of subsides down. Usually something, and all of a sudden it slides out of thing, and you're like, oh, I'm in the comfortable life again. And I go to a bunch of seminars, and I hire some coaches, and they kick my butt, and then guess what? I get back charged again. And ideally you want to keep charged as much as possible, and then that's a fine line going between all out and rest and recovery, and everybody's got a different format. I can't tell you how that is for you, but get coaches in your life and stay on the charged life. Keep growing, keep going. In a charged life, you got a heightened sense of energy. You're wound up. You're excited. When I see Seahawk, he's excited. He's talking. He's jumping around, right? He can't hardly contain himself. He's so full of energy. This guy's charged up. You just want to hang out with the guy, right? You want to go to dinner with the guy. You want to buy a water machine from the guy. That's what you want to do because you think maybe it's the water. Is it the water? Bottom line is engagement in the moment. No matter what's going on, you're like, hey, you're going into the world. Hey, man, this could be cool. What's going on here? I don't know. Let's try it out, right? I remember Seha and I, when we were, growing his business, and, he had a lot of challenges going on. He was charged up. We're driving down the road for hours and hours and hours, going crazy places. We were in the moment, got lost, everything else, meetings going sideways. You wouldn't believe all the stuff we went through. We were just having a good time. We were engaged in the moment. And that magic is fun to be in. It's that childlike energy, like kids living there playing in the sandbox or running around the woods. That's where they're at. They're engaged in the moment. They're feeling good. And that's where vision comes out. This is vision. I think it's in the Bible. It says if there is no vision, then the people will perish. You got no vision in your life, the people perish. You're sitting in front of the TV getting a vision. You're watching millionaires instead of being one. If you're watching the world go by instead of, out there making the world go by, if you're not on the growth curve, you're on the decline curve. You want to heighten sense of this. You want to set those goals again. You want to open up those dreams. We got guys in our business in their 70s, and they're setting new goals, new visions, new ideas. They're going to do more things. And we got people in their 20s that are back there going, where do you want to be, right? And you want to be charged up. We've got the greatest thing ever. We got the #1 product in the world, the #1 commodity in the world, points of distribution, 40 years in business. We've got all the certifications. We got a company that takes care of the shipping, the delivery, the manufacturing, takes care of all the custom stuff, all that sort of stuff, pays us directly sends a check right to our house, open our mouths and sharing the best thing ever. We change lives. We change lives. It's awesome. It's awesome. So we'll come back to this. You need to ask yourself a couple of questions, and I like asking questions, right? So you can write these down or put them on a video. Ask yourself, why am I here today? Like, write it down right now. Right now, and I want you to think about it when you get off this call. Why am I here today? And you can take this real deep. Take it. Am I here to just hang out on the call and be cool, say I showed up? or I'm here to make a difference in my life? Am I here to make a difference in my family's life, in my friends' life, in people I haven't met's life? Am I going to be a contributor on the planet? Why am I here today? That's a great question. Check this out maybe once a month. Why am I here today? Am I here? Am I just showing up? Am I going through the motions? Am I here to make a difference? Am I going to be charged up? Next thing, what am I most grateful for? If you haven't started a gratitude practice, start it. Write 10 things that you're grateful for and read them out every day. Every time you feel going down, get caught in it's so easy to get caught in negativity. That's the cool way of life nowadays. Everybody wants to be an expert by being negative, attacking somebody, taking somebody down. That's the easy way to popularity right now. But what's really amazing is when you get gratitude and you're grateful. This moves you out of that comfortable life because you go, man, I'm so blessed. Man, we're so lucky to have this water. Boy, can you imagine all the people that don't have this water? Can you imagine living without this water? I'm so happy to have this water. I'm so happy for Mr. Oshiro. I'm so happy that you guys are on the call today. I'm so happy for the team, right? I'm so happy that I was able to fly in from Tampa and have this. I'm so happy that I have a computer that I can talk to. I'm so happy for the internet. I'm so happy. I mean, I don't know. If you start giving gratitude for all the amazing things, I'm so happy I have a cell phone and I'm sitting here talking. It's amazing. My mind's blown. You can blow your mind in like 2 seconds. You get into grateful. It's amazing. And people love grateful people, right? And the people that are really negative, they run away from grateful people, happy people. And that's good. That just saves you a lot of headaches. So I'm going to ask you another question. If you're going to double your happiness, ask yourself this question. Double my happiness right now. What 4 things would I have to do? Write these down. What 4 things can you do right now, right in this moment, every day? What would you have to do that would double your happiness? Do you need to make more money? Do you need to be nicer to your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend? Right? You need happier. You like to take them for a little walk, maybe bring them some flowers, make them a special dinner, tell them that you love them. Would that make you happier? Would a few $1,000 in your account, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month? What's the number? What would it take to make you really happy? Maybe it's a vacation. Hawaii's coming up. Wouldn't you love to go to Hawaii with us? Maybe that would make you happy, right? Maybe there's something you want to do for a family, like your parents. Maybe you'd like to contribute to your church or your community. What makes you feel really good? Maybe you'd just like to go dancing or pick up a hobby, play a ukulele. I don't know. What would make you happy? 4 things. Try it. See what it is. Write that down. Do that. And the next thing I want to ask you, when we're talking high performance, we want to get to the next level. I want everybody to rise to the next level. I want everybody to rise up because it feels good. You feel good and you make a difference. How would my higher self view and respond to this situation? How would my higher self view and respond to this situation? Ask yourself that question. When you get shut down on a call, and you go, oh man, I was really Fred or Sue or whatever. I thought for sure they're going to do it, or they started the business and they quit. How would your higher self view this? Are you going to view this as an opportunity? Are you going to say this is an opportunity to grow stronger, to be a better version? Life is throwing me a challenge so I can rise up and become a greater level, or am I going to cower down? Am I going to take a shot and go down to the canvas and not get back up? Why do people like watching Rocky? Why do they like watching a fake movie about a guy that just gets beat up round after round after round, but keeps coming up and going after it and finally wins? Why do people love that guy? Tell you why. Because they see it in themselves. Everybody gets beaten. Everybody gets put down. But you know what? If you got a higher self, if you got a version outside of yourself, a greater version, some call it God, universal perspective. You can call it the whatever you want to call it, a higher self version that kind of zoom up from your problem and say, look down and say, hey, you know what? I'm bigger than this. I'm better than this. I'm stronger than this. This is an indication for me to rise up. The universe is testing me, and I'm here. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're excited about. What is high performance? High performance means excelling beyond standard norms consistently over the long term and requires long-term thinking at the first of each month. Stay focused. This is not a get-rich-quick program, but it is a get-rich program. And it's a rich, and not just in the financial sense. We're talking rich in friends, rich in experiences, rich in contribution, rich in joy, rich in being good for the planet. We're rich in all of those areas, and you get to do that, and the Kangen water allows you to perform at a higher level than you could elsewise. And finally, we're looking at high performance as the feeling of full engagement and joy that allows us to outperform our history and consistently live from and in our full potential. I don't care where you are in the business. I don't care where you were yesterday. I don't care where you were an hour ago, 5 years ago. I don't care what happened in your past. It's the past. It doesn't exist anymore. It's history. It's toast. Nobody knows. Doesn't matter. You need to go. Tomorrow is where you're looking. But today is where you take action. So where am I going? What's my vision? Where am I going? Am I taking action towards it? Am I following the steps? Am I honing my skills? Am I making those calls? Am I going through the terror barrier? Am I asking for help? That's the high performance life. That's the charged life. That'll get you out of the cage life. It'll get you out of the comfortable life. And that'll get you your thing. Now, we're going to talk. I'm just going to seed a little bit. We're going to talk about a few more things. One last page of things. These are the 5 things, and I'm going to go through these in depth in our next call, but I just want you to think about this a little bit. I'll leave you with a little piece. Am I strategic or responsive? And I want to share this. I found out 2 weeks ago at the High Performance Academy that if you're answering your emails or your Facebook in the first hour of the day, you're losing 27% productivity over the course of your lifetime. So if you're working 8 hours a day, you spend that hour in response to people, first hour, you're losing 27%. You're working 8 hours a day, that's 2 hours. Think about that. You set the tone. You decide what your day is going to be like. You take strategic action and set the tone, and you respond to other people's agendas. Emails are a convenient form of other people's agenda. You got to take control of your business and be strategic. Number 2, persuasion. How's my skills of persuasion? You know what? Everybody can improve it. I'm constantly learning about persuasion. This is powerful stuff. Persuasion is persuasion and influence. You got those 2 things, you can write your ticket. Are you communicating excitement? Are you communicating value? Are you sharing with them the water? And if your belief is not quite up, you need to do the things that get your belief up. Practice the practices. Practice the practices. All professionals practice all the time. Every professional athlete, every professional businessman, everybody's a professional. That's why they're saying go pro. Learn these 7 skills. Psychology. What's my self-view? This is deep. This is deep. We get programmed when we're kids. We get programmed by TVs. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't deserve it. None of my family ever made money. I'm bad with money. I'm bad with relationships. I'm not good at numbers. I'm not good at the business. I'm not good. Are you giving yourself that story? Check when you go out to those negative views of your self-view, and you know what? Reverse it. Reverse it and go back there and go back to that higher version of myself. This is an opportunity. You can grow. You can grow into it. One time you didn't know how to walk. One time you didn't know how to speak. Every skill that you got going on today, you already learned. You got a history of learning. You can do this. You got this. Okay? Physiology. How am I managing my energy? Am I drinking the water every day? Right? Am I eating healthy? Am I doing a little exercise? Am I taking time in my life to energize? Am I doing my deep breathing practice? I got an 84-step program. You want to figure that out? Just get it. Down. It's free. I'll show you all the things, practice things, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You can do it. Get your energy up. Be vital. You know, people want to be around high energy people. And finally, what's your purpose? What's my why? Does it make you cry? Does it make you excited? Does it make you charge up? Your why isn't there. And you might have to crack down on this because most people have covered up their emotions. They've blocked it up. They built a brick wall around it. You know, they blocked it all up. So find out what your why. Go through these things. I'm going to talk more about these next week. I'm so charged up, man. I've been on a crazy train of high performance in the last weeks. So I mean, it's nut bar. We're excited. But we're going to turn it over. Maybe we can go back to some questions for people. We can open that up. I just want to say quickly, thanks for being on the call. Love you all. You guys are great. I'm so excited about our team. We're growing. The higher-ups in a Nagic Corporation are taking a notice of the PH Alliance. I can tell you that right now. They're seeing the growth in the business. I want to high-five and hug every single one of you and say, you guys are doing amazing. I know you're out there working, and I know you're stepping it up. You know, your leaders are telling me that you're on it. You're on fire. Some people are falling off, but that's okay. You just make up for it. You find the new ones. You keep going. Drop in on those people every week. We really appreciate it. We love you guys. I'm so grateful. And I never imagined 8 years ago that I'd have this experience with all these amazing people. I look on the Facebook. We hang out in these. We're in Vegas. We're in Hawaii. You know, San Francisco. We're in Tampa. We're all over the place. My mind's blown. I'm just blown out. But it's unbelievable. Blown out in a good way. So let's turn it over for questions. If you guys want to follow anything after that, go ahead.
Oh, wait. It's hard to follow up that type of high performance. I just want to commend you and also just give you, top of our hat that, you're kind of the leader behind this whole movement. You're the top of this for us. I know Siha and myself, we looked towards you when we got involved with this. Show us what to do, lead us the way, and you've been consistent in being able to really reach out and support us, and you've been an inspiration to me personally, a mentor, a friend, a coach. You bring so much to the team of such great value, and 5 years ago I saw the opportunity to work with you. And I think we turn around with you, however it needs to happen, and the people that are going to lock in and lock arms with this and move through the years, we're really going to be able to continue to create massive success. Because I know we already are, and we are catching the eyes of a Nagic, corporate, and I'm so looking forward to, what we're going to do in the future. I think we can turn it over to some questions. I just, before we do that, I just want to let everyone know, next week the PH Alliance webinar is not going to be happening because it's going to be the first Monday of the month. So Danny D. McCauley and the Kungan One webinar, which is really where you want to plug into for the large global events. That's going to be happening next Monday, 7 o'clock. So every Monday, 7 o'clock, there's our webinar, and then on the first Monday of the month, there's going to be Danny D, which is hilarious, informative, brings the action, and it attracts, month by month. So please put that on your agenda and be there. Why don't we take a look? Would love to hear any feedback from you guys out there. Question land. I'll also turn it over to Siha if you've got anything to add on top of what we just heard from Wade.
Yeah, just real quickly, one of the best things about the organization PH Alliance is that Wade has set such an amazing example of someone that you can count on. He's somebody that I can totally have faith that if he says he's going to be somewhere, he's going to do something, he's going to follow up with something, he's doing it. And just having him be such a leader in that way, it's pushed me to be a better person as well and a better leader as well. And I find that in this organization, everybody that's out there that work with us, I have the same feeling for all the leaders out there, as I know that you've got my back, and I know that I can always count on you. So I just want to say, thank you to all of you for being there when we need you most, and that's most of the time. So thank you.
Awesome. I'm checking into the questions, and we've just gotten some nice feedback from people. We had a few technical issues, so I apologize about that. Realize that these webinars are recorded, and we do post them, so you can get access to them all. I also really want to encourage you guys to reach out to your other team leaders. We can turn this webinar into a powerful training tool, and we want to just get started. We want to really push this through all the way through 2016. So, we've got up between about 30 people kind of jumping on the live webinar. We know we're getting about that many people watching the recordings. But I want to also just put it out to the leaders on the call, reach out to your people and get them on this, get them watching this. So if we can all be diving in and really feeling like we're part of something bigger, we start to be able to move through the fear and that threshold together as an organization, as a team. So I want to, commend you guys for being here, and we can do better. And I know I'm going to make some calls to my leaders and get them on here, because this is really what we want to do, because it's duplicatable. let the experts in the system do the work for you. Get your new people on here as quick as possible. There was a request for Wade's slides, and I believe that's possible. We can send that out. Absolutely. My slides will also be available for those that are interested. So unless you guys have any further questions you want to pop in there, Roger, thanks for being on the show with us. It'd be great. Patrick, as usual. Kai, all revved up in Saskatoon. I'm gonna rock and roll it. He's moving towards the 6A month in November, so way to go, Kai. Unless you guys have any other comments, there's Jesse saying awesome. Great webinar. John Lee, one of our new business partners. We had a business presentation today with him. He's going to be coming on board soon. John, great to have you out. So excited to be part of the movement, he says. With that, I'm going to turn it over to maybe Wade. You want to take it home with the last closing comments?
Sure do. If someone said here, I just noticed one question from Carol. How important do you think business cards are? They're real important. You got to get as many as you possibly can from other people and start calling them. That's what you need. It's great to have a business card. A lot of people feel good, but I've seen people spend a month trying to figure out their business card. Don't worry about it. Start today. Get a business card. That's great. That's awesome. But you know what? You want to collect business cards. You want to collect and follow up. That's the big thing. I like having a card, but you know what? I don't even have a card that relates to the water business. I have a card that relates to me. People buy into you. That's a great thing. But you need to collect. A card is a great way to get an exchange. But follow up. I mean, first and foremost, thank you guys for the kudos. I really appreciate it. I'm the one that's really super blessed to have such great guys on my team. You guys are awesome, and those of you who are on Seahaw's team or Creel's team, you guys are super fortunate. And realize this. The best thing about the PH Alliance is that, we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Seahaw's not perfect. We make mistakes. We have character defects. We have parts of us that aren't good. You don't have to be perfect, and don't expect us to be perfect. But we're going to do our best. And that's all we ask of you. We ask you to do your best, keep growing, keep learning. This business, and this was said at the Las Vegas, I think Eric Morey said it, or one of the leaders said it, says, this is a personal development program with a compensation plan. That's what this is. Because let's look at our options. What if you're not doing this? What are you doing? You're watching TV, hanging out at the local watering hole, talking about stories, or hanging out at the local coffee shop, grumbling about how things are, worried about Social Security. You're going to be down there. Life goes down the drain. You're there sitting there in an old home drinking fluid through a straw and all that stuff. Are you saying, you know what? I'm going to have a retirement. I'm going to have a super home. I can't help it. I'm going to age, but I'm going to live on my terms. I'm going to have like customized motorized scooters going to wheel me around. I'm still going to be talking about the water, like Zig Ziglar. They used to wheel him up in a Zig Ziglar at the end of his career. They'd wheel him out on stage with an oxygen thing on. The guy's like, I don't know, a million years old or something, and they'd wheel him out, and he'd start talking from his wheelchair, and he's taking things. You think the guy's going to die, and he gets so charged up in the middle of it, he gets up, and he throws the oxygen machine off, and he starts shouting into the crowd, and the crowd starts going out of their minds. Maybe this old guy, he's on his last legs, and he's just like, I'm going, because I'd rather go into the grave in a barrel roll than in a box. Hope you feel the same way. PH Alliance is growing, and it's growing because of your efforts. It's growing the efforts of these leaders that you have. Creel and Seahawk, you guys are amazing. But you know what? 80% of the growth comes from the 1As and the 2As in any organization. Let's reach out to those people. Let's be the leaders to those people. Let's get them started. Let's get them started right. Let's get them plugged in. Let's get everybody on this call, because you know what? We love you. We're connected to you. We're growing this together. This is the beauty of this business. You're not alone. You do it by yourself, but you're not alone when you do it. In other words, you got to do the work on yourself, by yourself, but you got a team here to back you up and to move forward with you, and that's the best thing about it. So, with that, next week we've got Danny D, 7 p.m., Global Kangen Business, and the week after that, we're coming with some high and hard PH Alliance business with a heart, heat, I'm Wade T. Lightheart. It's my friends Creel Hutchinson, Seehaw Top, PH Alliance. We love you. Can't wait to hear you. Thank you, Kim, so much for getting everything organized with all the technical difficulties. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, and we'll see you next week on Danny D's. Take care. Lots of love. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.